welcome to Emma's Daily Recipe, and today we're going to be making a crazy cake. The first thing we need to do is ask permission from a parent to make sure that it's good that we're allowed to be using the kitchen. Oh, can I use the kitchen?
Yes, you can use the kitchen. Thank you for asking.
The second thing we need to do is we're going to need to wash our hands. So what we're going to need is we're going to need oil, vinegar, flour, sugar, baking soda, cocoa, and then you can't forget measuring cups and measuring spoons. And I almost forgot, we're also going to need salt. So the first step is we're going to need to be preheating the oven to 350 degrees. So for this recipe, I would recommend using a large mixing bowl. So what we're going to start by doing is we're going to start by mixing all the dry ingredients first, and then we'll add in the wet ingredients. Okay, so when you're doing the flour, which is what we're doing, we're going to need 3 cups of it, and when you're measuring it out, you're going to make sure that it's light and fluffy like a cloud, and you don't want to pack it down because otherwise you won't know if it's even or not. So you want it in quite loosely, like this. Once you've measured it, like this, you're going to want to scrape across the top so that you know it's even. Then you're going to add it. We'll do that 2 more times. Next, we're going to need 2 cups white sugar. And you're going to need to scrape off the top just like you did with the flour so you know you have an even amount. And 2. The next ingredient we're going to need is 1 teaspoon salt. When you're measuring this, you want to make sure you get the right one because otherwise your thing may be way too salty. When you look at how many there are, there's 4. It would be the one that sits right inside of the large one. And then when you are measuring, do not pour it over your bowl because if you pour too much in, then it'll be overly salty. So you want to pour it off to the side. There. Make sure that it's as even as you can get it, and then pour it in. So the way that a crazy cake is different from a normal cake is you don't add any eggs or milk. The only thing you add in to make it rise is like a volcano explosion when you do like with the vinegar and the baking soda. So that's what we're doing. So we're gonna need 2 teaspoons, the same measurement we did for salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda to help it rise. So, 1-ish, I think. The final thing we're going to need is one half cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. So when you do cocoa powder, do not eat it. It may look like yummy, yummy chocolate. It's so bitter. Don't do it. Just don't. Okay? Just don't. That's our last dry ingredient. So now we're just going to use a whisk to stir it until it looks really even and looks about the same. This recipe will either make 2 round cakes or 1 rectangular cake. But I'm going to do the round cakes because then we can, I don't know why, I like round circles. Prepare the circle pans. We're going to need this vegetable oil, and we're just going to spray the pans so that the cake won't stick, like this. Other one. So once you're done with the oil, you need to clean. Yay. So what we're gonna have to do is we don't want any of the ingredients touching before we're ready to mix the cake. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little well here for the oil to go into. And exactly across from it, we're gonna make a well for the water. Like that. When you're measuring wet ingredients, you wanna use this kind of measuring cup, not the type we were using for dry ingredients, because then you can see how high you've made it up, and you can measure exactly how much you need. We're gonna use 3/4 of a cup of oil. See how it lines up exactly on that red line there? That's how we know that that's just enough oil to add in to make this cake. So now you're gonna pour the oil into one well. Well, the wells kind of failed at that. That just went everywhere. We're gonna add 2 cups cold water, but before we do that, since we used the oil before we used the water, look what the water did. Made little oil bubbles on the surface. But now, we can just add it. No wells needed. We're gonna need to do that one more time. 2nd cup of water, in it goes. Prepare for loading. Oh, you can use any type of vinegar that you want because that's the next ingredient. We're using apple cider vinegar, but you can also use white vinegar. Do not use balsamic vinegar, okay? Got that? 2 tablespoons of that, and then we're gonna make it rain. So I'm just gonna measure it over this measuring cup because we don't want too much. Wow. Don't know if we're supposed to do that, but okie dokes. And make it rain. This is gonna take forever. We mix. Do not overmix, okay? We're gonna mix till it's a batter. Stir. And there's no dry left because we don't want dry. So when you get to this point, you're gonna want to scrape the sides and then do an X on it because some of the time you will find a big chunk of like dry, see? So you're gonna wanna just scrape the edges under the batter to make sure that you got all the dry mixed in because we don't want chunky cake. Nobody wants chunky cake. People might like chunky slime, but not chunky cake. That's not yummy. Now we're going to evenly pour it into the cake pans. When you pour it into the cake pans, make sure that you don't fill it all the way to the top, otherwise your cake will overflow when it's baking. So you pour the batter. Whoa, that's plenty. Whoa. Okay, stop. You're gonna go over to the other one and pour the batter. More. Okay. Now we get to have a lick the spoon dance party. I'm bringing in my sister. There you go. So now we have to put these in the oven. I got my super gloves right here. Suiting up. Okay. Mega careful. Ugh. 20 minutes starting now. Now we wait. How are you? Good? I'm good too. Cakes take so long! Where are the cakes though? Cakes! See how jiggly the cakes are? That means that they're not ready yet, so more waiting. It's go time. Oh, fumes. Oh, smells like gas oven. Oh, it's hot, 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 hot. Ah, so maybe I should put it on the stove. And if you know me, I drop things a lot. So that's quite a surprise I didn't drop that. The way we check to see if they're done is toothpick time. It broke, so we have 2 toothpicks. Got it. And if it comes out clean, I'm gonna run out of toothpick. That one's done. Let's do the same for the other. Done. After many hours of waiting, it's finally done. And they're cool. We can take them out of the pan. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take a rubber spatula and go around the outside to free it from the sides of the pan. And then you're just gonna wanna kind of get it started. Put your hand on it, flip it over. Then take a spoon and flip it onto the plate. Like so. These cakes are kind of delicate, so you want to be really careful when doing this. I put on the next layer, I'm going to add in some frosting. So I have milk chocolate store-bought frosting because I'm too lazy. I'm not going to make my own frosting. That takes forever. So you just want a little dollop, and then you're just going to spread it so that it's even throughout the cake. Layer 2. Cue dramatic music. Ta-da! More frosting. Then dance party.
Sprinkles.
There you go. Perfect crazy cake. Make sure to ask parents permission again before you cut it, because you may not have permission to eat it till after dinner. That's good. You guys should try this. Make sure you do. Bye.